everyone. So I wanted to make a quick response here to Don Exodus 2's video. This, unfortunately, is the recurring theme throughout Don Exodus' video. What he has obviously done here is confused moral ontology with moral epistemology. The first part of his sentence is correct, the part that says there can be no morality without God, but his error is produced in the second part, when he says, and because atheists have no morality, atheists are therefore immoral. The second claim should be modified as follows. Because atheists claim that God does not exist, on atheism there is no morality. The claim is not that belief in God is necessary for morality, but rather that God's existence itself is necessary for the existence of morality itself. Indeed, I think that any philosophically minded Christian who would readily agree that atheists can adhere to moral values and perform moral actions. This is because on theism, morality exists regardless of whether or not one believes in the existence of God. So for atheists to argue that they can lead moral lives simply affirms what the theists believe already, that there is a real objective moral standard written on the heart of every man regardless of belief. Don Exodus 2 then goes on to appeal to the herd morality hypothesis and explains that other species do not kill each other. He gives the example of piranhas, not because of God, but because it is not beneficial to the individual to kill off members of its own species. This argument, however, only gives us a descriptive view of morality and not a prescriptive one. Explaining the socio-biological reasons that why we are altruistic does not amount to a moral ought. It only amounts to a moral is. Morality is, by very nature, normative, and thus what Don Exodus has given us is insufficient to account for the existence of objective, binding morality. Don Exodus here reveals his painfully obvious ignorance of theology. In addition to the skeletal framework of moral oughts laid out in the Bible, we are further told in Romans 2:14 and 15, Titus 2:11 through 12, and in other passages that God has revealed himself in human consciousness as well as in Scripture and nature. This is the distinction between special and general revelation. There are two types of general revelation. The first is in nature and the second is in conscience. We have an inborn sense of morally normative facts and understand that some things are really right and some things are really wrong, no matter what others may think or believe. Things like rape and torture are morally repugnant to the vast majority of human beings because we have access to God's revelation in our conscience. Actually, Don Exodus, there's a perfectly logical connection between the belief that God does not exist and the belief that there is no morality. Once again, he's confusing epistemology and ontology here, and it's obvious that he's done virtually no study on the subject. Notice his use of the word immoral. He should here be using the word amoral. Immoral is an action that goes against morality, while as amoral would be actions that lack morality altogether. Without a foundation to ground objective moral oughts, atheists would only be living consistently if they were to deny the existence of morality, since oughts can't be derived from ises, or prescriptive things cannot be derived from descriptive things. I would recommend Make Killer 2's response. He also did a response to Don Exodus, I believe. Now this final quote here, he says, "I can't recall the last time I saw an atheist burn books." I'm assuming he can't recall ever hearing of an atheist burning books. Now in response to this, I'm not going to get into it. I recommend this book, The Irrational Atheist by Boxday.